Hey everyone, my name's Autumn, and I'm going to do my presentation on the Rio de Janeiro floods and mudslides that happened in the country of Brazil in January of 2011. Um, the reason why I chose this event. Personally, I don't have any connections to Brazil and where these mudslides and floods took place, other than my own interest in wanting to visit Brazil at some time in my life. I've always found the country very beautiful and a place that I would really like to vacation someday. So I thought it would be interesting to learn more about the country and figuring out what months I should not plan to travel there to avoid these natural disasters. So next I'm just going to talk about a little intro. So between January 11th and 12th of 2011, there were numerous communities within the region of Brazil, within the state of Rio de Janeiro, that were hit by a series of floods and mudslides. Property damage was significant, and public utilities such as electricity, running water, and phone lines were disturbed as a result of this tragedy. This event caused floods, landslides, and mudslides, killing 903 people and destroying the homes of over 2,900 people, leaving these people homeless and trying to find their loved ones within this mass chaos that was happening. This here, I took a photo. Well, I didn't take a photo. I grabbed a photo that NASA had captured from their Terra satellites. That was a couple of days after the event that had happened. This is like the northeast region of the mountains, and as you can see, it has labeled some mudslides that had happened within those couple of days of the heavy rains that they encountered. And next, we're just going to talk a little bit about the tectonic settings, which is located in the middle of the South American tectonic plates. And interacts with the Nazca plates on the continent's west side, resulting in some of the most powerful earthquakes in history. Plate tectonic, it's never dormant. The South American plate, for example, moves at a rate of about 3 centimeters per year on average, which, fun fact, that's roughly how long your nails grow each year. The South American plate is a large plate that involves the South American continent as well as a large portion of the Atlantic Ocean. As you can see, the photo that I have provided with you guys, it gives us clear description of where the South Plate is at, connected to the Nazca Plate, as well as being able to see how much of the Atlantic Ocean is connected to this continent, shown here. Next, we're going to talk about the geologic settings. So the San Antonio River, which flooded the area, was the most prominent watercourse. The South Atlantic Convergence Zone was responsible for the rain in Rio de Janeiro. The South Atlantic Convergence Zone, one of the key systems that modulates the weather and climate in Brazil during the rainy season, is responsible for some of these disastrous events. Throughout the rainy season, between October to April, most of Brazil's southeast region is hit by several rainfall events, which results in a variety of natural disasters, such as, like I've mentioned before, landslides and floods, which they see a lot. Now we're just going to talk a little bit about the geologic hazards. So Rio de Janeiro, this region of Brazil, experiences heavy or extreme rainfalls every year, like I've mentioned before. But this time, the amount of rain was very heavy and fell in a very short period of time, resulting in an island tsunami-like torrent, which is why this event happened. So Brazil has nothing new to rainfalls. However, within a 24-hour time span, they encountered rain that they would normally encounter within the year versus within that short time period. The main issue that Brazil faces are landslides. Like I've said before, for many decades, Brazilian authorities permitted the constructions of homes and buildings on these slopes, resulting in landslides with fatalities in the state of Rio de Janeiro each year. Because of the massive occupation of the slopes and hills in the state of Rio de Janeiro, landslides are much more tragic and tragedies are much more common because of this. Here I have a photo. It's from the rains of the 2011 that caused the damage of the hilly area of Rio de Janeiro. There's a weather satellite image right here to the upper left, shows the area of the heavy rain, and then an aerial image of multiple landslides right here to the lower left. As you can see, the landslides, and an aerial image of the debris flow over here to the right. What they suffered or encountered with these landslides that had happened with them. As for the aftermath of the event that had happened, the acting governor dispatched reinforcements to the region and requested immediate federal assistance in the form of machinery, helicopters, and manpower. Municipal governments led resource efforts that also made available shelter and amendments for the newly homeless individuals that often were held in schools. The Brazilian government is now creating a nationwide disaster prevention and early warning system in the aftermath of these floods and mudslides that had happened. The Minister of Planning indicated that the government will invest roughly, which would equal $4 billion in US dollars, on a water drainage and hillside recovery project around the country through 2014. And since the early 2000s, the state of Rio de Janeiro has had hundreds of national disasters. Researchers estimate that at least 150,000 people are living over 1,300 high-risk locations, making them prone to landslides and floods in that area. So that's all I have for you guys, and I hope you enjoyed my presentation.